In a world where scams and cybercrimes run rampant, three recent incidents have caught the world's attention. From the captivating rise and fall of the NovaTech FX Ponzi scheme to Zambia's crackdown on a major cybercrime ring involving Chinese citizens, and finally, the arrest of a credit card skimmer in Puerto Rico. Let's delve into these intriguing stories. The NovaTech FX Ponzi scheme. It all began one quiet morning in 2019. Cynthia Pétion, lost in the mundane routine of brushing her teeth, claimed she received a vision from God. This vision? The idea to start a crypto investing platform. With this divine inspiration, Cynthia founded NovaTech FX, declaring herself the Reverend CEO. Her platform promised astonishing returns of up to 200% within a year, a message that resonated deeply with America's Haitian community, especially those attending church. Over the next 3 years, Cynthia and her husband Eddie Pétion amassed an incredible $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency investments. They portrayed themselves as saviors of the financially disabled, targeting poor immigrants looking for a way to secure their future. New York Attorney General Letitia James would later describe NovaTech FX as a well-orchestrated Ponzi scheme, preying on the most vulnerable. By 2022, the cracks in the scheme began to show. The Pétions quietly sold their Florida home and relocated to Panama just before the collapse of NovaTech FX. In May 2023, the inevitable happened. NovaTech FX crumbled, leaving thousands of investors in despair. Last week, Letitia James filed a lawsuit against Cynthia and Eddie Pétion and NovaTech's top executives. The lawsuit seeks to recover the lost funds and ban them from selling investments in New York State forever. According to James, the Pétions callously marketed to those in desperate need of income, knowing full well that the scheme was doomed to fail. Despite presenting herself as a pious guardian of investors' money, Cynthia Pétion had a very different attitude behind the scenes. The lawsuit reveals her dismissive view of her investors, referring to them as mindless sheep and herself as a zookeeper. She believed people followed her blindly, only realizing the truth when they saw her flaunting her wealth. Apparently, NovaTech FX was born from the ashes of an earlier scam, AWS mining, which also promised high returns through crypto mining in Paraguay. This too was a Ponzi scheme, with funds primarily enriching those at the top and paying out early investors. When AWS mining began to unravel, Cynthia Pétion and her team staged fake emergencies, such as a fabricated fire at the mining facility to maintain the ruse. As NovaTech FX grew, regulators from several states and countries began to take notice. Cease and desist orders poured in from Washington, Wisconsin, Russia, South Africa, and many other countries. In May 2023, NovaTech FX finally collapsed, leaving investors unable to withdraw their funds. Many investors lost their life savings, including a retired bus driver who lost $200,000. Tens of thousands of people were affected by the scheme. Earlier this year, investors filed a $2 billion civil suit against Cynthia Pétion and her husband Eddie, seeking restitution. Cynthia made a feeble attempt to reassure investors through an Instagram post claiming efforts were being made to return the funds. However, replies to the post revealed that many had been trying to contact NovaTech for months without success. The story of Cynthia Pétion and NovaTech FX is a stark reminder of the dangers of too-good-to-be-true investment promises. Always do your research and be wary of schemes that promise unrealistically high returns. Zambia busts major cybercrime ring. Internet scams are a growing problem around the world, and Zambia has just taken a big step to fight back. In a shocking turn of events, 22 Chinese nationals have pleaded guilty to cyber-related crimes in Zambia. Back in April, Zambian authorities launched a major operation in Lusaka, targeting a Chinese-run company, suspected of being at the heart of a widespread internet fraud. The raid on Golden Top Support Services, located in the upscale Roma suburb, resulted in the arrest of 77 suspects, including 22 Chinese nationals and 1 Cameroonian. This raid was in response to a worrying rise in internet fraud cases that were targeting people around the world. In the words of a Zambian Drug Enforcement Commission agent, "We noticed an alarming trend of Zambians losing money from their mobile and bank accounts. This wasn't an isolated issue. It extended to various countries, including Singapore, Peru, the UAE, and across Africa." After a lengthy trial, the 22 Chinese citizens admitted to charges of computer-related misrepresentation, identity-related crimes, and illegally operating a network or service. They, along with a Cameroonian national, were found guilty of manipulating online identities to perpetrate their scams. During the raid, authorities seized a large array of equipment, including 11 SIM boxes capable of routing calls through genuine phone networks, over 13,000 SIM cards, and devices designed to disguise callers' locations. Li Xianlin, the alleged director, was charged with running the network without a license from Zambian authorities. Dozens of young Zambians were also arrested, suspected of being recruited as call center agents to engage in fraudulent phone calls and support. They were later released on bail to aid in the investigation. During the raid, authorities also confiscated firearms, ammunition, and vehicles belonging to a Chinese national linked to the fraudulent activities. While the criminals await sentencing, they remain locked up behind bars as the world watches closely. Credit card skimmer busted. Finally, we're diving into a shocking story of identity theft and bank fraud that targeted innocent shoppers in Puerto Rico. Imagine you're in Puerto Rico, having a blast on the beach. But while you're soaking up the sun, a shady character named Vlad Taribes is up to no good. This Romanian tourist, instead of enjoying the beautiful island, was allegedly installing skimming devices at large retail stores. What's a skimmer? I hear you ask. A skimmer is a sneaky device attached to ATMs or credit card readers. The job of this device is to steal your card info when you swipe. According to the authorities, Taribes and his crew targeted stores in Manatee, Canóvanas, Caguas, and Carolina. Over a 5-day period, they stole data from over 1,200 customers. That's a lot of people whose vacations could have turned into financial nightmares. Taribes and his criminal buddies tried to steal over $20,000, but it's unclear if they succeeded. Luckily, a local news agency caught wind of the scheme and Taribes fled to Florida. But you can't outrun justice forever. The U.S. Secret Service tracked Taribes down in the UK and arrested him in February 2024. He was extradited Puerto Rico to face the consequences of his actions. Eventually, Vlad Taribes appeared in court earlier this month and is currently being held. If convicted, he could face up to 30 years in prison. That's a hefty sentence, but well-deserved. And that's it, guys. If you found these stories interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories like this. Until next time, stay safe out there.